Kana from Luxury Gaming, and I'm here with a few members of our team. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm Jonathan. I won the Golden Mickey today, got top 8 with this deck.
Lux Ferranti.
Alatian.
Okay, and what colors did we play?
We played Red, Purple, Burn.
Ooh,
Deck goes Burr.
okay, let's see the deck.
So, started out, the 1-drop package. They say draw a card.
Okay,
That's why
that's
we run
pretty
them.
standard.
Yep. Then we have Fort Cusco. He also says draw a card. We're just trying to quest out and not lose card advantage when they attack into our dudes.
And having card advantage is really good for the anticipated green steel matchups, right?
Yeah, so the card advantage, the big thing is we're just trying to draw as much burn as possible. Like the late game, we're just trying to draw into as many gain 2 lures as we possibly can.
How big was your hand usually?
It's pretty empty. I'm just trying to empty it, draw gas, and then empty it like every turn on repeat.
Okay.
And then we had the one of Flynn. My team was killing me for this one. They played 3. I played a single one. I drew it in the matchups that it was good in, so it came up sometimes. It actually was detrimental in my top 16 match. It didn't do anything at all, but it came up sometimes. It did its thing. It's fun.
Did you want any more copies of it?
No, I would cut it after this.
If Flynn ever gets you 3 lore, it's extra game over most of the time.
Yeah, it's win more in the good matchups already. And then
Here comes the spice.
The reason this deck works at all is the Chromacon. So this deck, you don't care about the opponent's cards. Like you're just trying to count to 20 and control the board so that they can't get to 20 at the same time. And just being able to draw an extra card every single turn, no matter what's going on, doesn't cost any ink. So you just keep drawing and keep burning. This card was insane.
Is there ever a time where you're not using the Amethyst Chromicon?
Yes, it's very matchup dependent, and I'd say you need a lot of reps with the deck to understand when to use it and when to not use it. It's a very difficult card to play optimally, but it's worth getting the reps in to play a Chromacon deck.
If you're setting up like a B prep turn on turn 6, you don't tap it to give your opponent extra outs to out your B prep, like an Ursula or a Pete or something like that. You just play it and pass because you don't want to give them more outs to answering your B prep the following turn. Or if you're just way ahead on card advantage, you don't need to tap it. So,
okay.
And then classic burn spell, 2 gain 2 lore.
This is my favorite card personally.
I mean, this card's just insane. Closes out games like nothing else.
And now you play this in the later game, correct?
If I find a hole to play it, I play it like if I have like a 5 ink turn and I play a 3 cost guy, and I'll play that as well. But otherwise, yeah, I just try to hold them to burn people out of like from ridiculous ranges where they just don't expect to lose.
The goal is to get to 10 lore basically by turn 4 or 5, and then start topping your Chromacons to close the game out and find your burn spells.
So this was anti-Diablo tech for the green steel matchup.
It's our worst matchup.
Yeah, I would probably not play these again, but they came up sometimes. Against one game against red blue, it quested so many times they just never answered it. So it was like okay there, but it was all right. Sisu is just, this card's insane. It's way too oversaturated, especially with Chromacon, because they're always drawing, and my hand is empty. So like in red purple mirrors, it came up to where this could just like one shot their castles or quest for 2 constantly, and it was just always huge. And then theirs was small because I kept emptying my hand. This card's just crazy. I don't know why it has.
And any poke damage we get from our creatures like Sisu, if Sisu quests for twice, it's just free damage. Yeah,
free damage. The crab kills locations, makes trades easy, makes Cusco crazy. Does crab things. This card is solid.
Would you play any more crab?
No, I think 2 is the correct number. I was happy with that. 4 brawl. You have to play 4 brawl. You can't not play brawl in this format. It's just absolutely mandatory in red. You have to hit Diablo. You have to hit like
aerials.
There's so many targets in the meta that everyone knows brawl is good. And then we have the location package. We play 4 library, 4 castle. You have to play them. This deck is really about the burn, and what you want to do is you want to get to a spot where you can blow up their board with your Be Prepareds, and then just have like a location or 2 chilling. A lot of people try to race instead of dealing with locations, and that is usually a bad idea for our opponents. But even if they're dealing with locations, like a lot of times I'll just play this out, and my opponent kills it, but that's his entire turn, so I can quest with all my other dudes, and it doesn't even matter.
You're making them make a decision.
Yeah, it's like a lightning rod. You know, like it buys us sometimes 1 or 2 turns, especially You play decks like Green Steel and so on. 8 is actually insane for them to deal with. 8 HP is massive.
I tell everyone locations are like armor. It's like extra life for you. It extends the game. If they don't answer it, it's gonna help us win the game. And if they answer it, it still extends the game extra turns because it's like extra life.
Oh, and then library with our 12 or we have the 8 1-drops that draw and the Cusco that draw. You put these cards on library, and this card just draws so many cards. In my top 16 match to win, I just drew for a turn. I had 3 random dudes. I just stuck them all in library. He had to be prep to survive, and I drew 3, which got me the burn needed to kill him. The card is just insane.
Actually, I probably would say the library is better than Castle, wouldn't you?
It is.
Really?
Yeah, the library performed way better than Castle. Like, Castle was good, but library was like the glue that keeps this deck together with all the little tiny dorks we play that just die.
We rarely have units to stick at Castle for us to get back to our turn to draw cards off a Castle. Library instantly gets us cards.
So this is some spice. This card was,
Ooh.
we were playing GOAT, but this card was the GOAT. I won unwinnable games involving this card. I had no right. Yeah, I had no right to win a lot of these games. And this guy just came in, and my opponents didn't know what to do. I had this card Medusa. They were like, it's too low, and so they Medusa, and I just pop his Medusa for free and keep my location. He has no Medusa. I just keep up the pressure. Against the red-purple mirror, it makes really awkward trades. Against Moyen in the blue-steel matchup, he played Pete, and so I put this on a library, killed his Tamatoa, and drew a card instead of B-prepping, and then I played another library, so it hard won me the last game in my top 64 match against Moyen.
I say it's a knowledge on legs. It's a knowledge that just it quests for 2, and if they answer it, it'll trade up and it'll trade with something.
Dragonfire,
yeah.
really.
Would you play anymore?
It's uninkable. I want a third, but there's other uninkable tech slots that I'll discuss after we're done with the rest of the deck that I want to add space for as well. And then, of course, GOAT. He's the GOAT.
You need to have him. He's a staple.
Yeah, he's a staple.
In red purple.
Especially in red purple, and he burns for 2. So
LeBron James.
And then for Goofy, this guy is hilarious. So a lot of times with like locations and your little dudes, your opponents are forced to answer your units. And this guy really, really punishes them for doing so. And then they have to answer the Goofy. They can't just let it live and do it again. So he not only gains me 2 lore immediately, and a lot of times trades with someone, he then forces them to kill it on the crackback, which eats an attack from a location or eats lore from my opponent. We're just trying to race our opponent and get to 20 as fast as possible.
So when are you playing Super Goof? Are you playing him turn 4 or are you playing him more the later game?
I play him as soon as I can get value.
As soon as we can hit a guy to gain 2 lore, that's when we're most likely playing it.
Got it.
Yeah, I'll even suicide him to gain 2 lore in some matchups. Like, it doesn't matter if he dies, it doesn't do anything. He gained 2 lore, that's all I need him to do for the matchup. And then 2 Maui, you have to play Maui in this game. There's things that you have to hit with Maui. My teammates decided to play Flynn's, and I was like, I'm gonna play Maui's. I have to play the Maui's. They answered a lot. They did a lot of work. They're just, it's dumb overstated. Same as Sisu. It's just a really, really static.
The deck struggles with locations on the draw. So to answer, that's why we play the crabs and the Maui to answer the locations, because that was during testing. We realized that was one of the ways that we lost is that we couldn't answer their locations.
My favorite spice in the deck.
It's a hard not life. 4 luck.
A Pirate's Life. This card, it's crazy. It won me so many games where they think they can race you, and then this card is a 4 lore swing out of nowhere. There was one game where I even sung it with a Maui and a 1-drop, so it gave me 1 more lore than I would have got from questing, and I stole 2 lore from them. And so it lets me race in situations where it's like, it looks like it's unwinnable, and then you do this, and then suddenly you just like win the game. And this combined with knowledge, it won me so many games.
It extends the game. Like, it's like a Aladdin from set 1 where like you're trying to like poke damage in with your opponent, but it like this deck, the more turns we get, it gives us more turns to draw burn spells to end the game.
And we had 4 B prep mandatory. You have to play this. This is how the deck functions. It does not exist without this card. So you really want to just stick locations, stick small dorks that replace themselves, put them all in library, and the dream is just B prep your opponent's board, have 2 locations out, and then you're just, and you're just burning them out, and you're drawing extra cards every turn, trying to burn them out. You don't really, with Chromacon, you don't care about your opponent's hand size. They had 10, 15 cards. It didn't matter. Their cards are irrelevant if you're winning the game.
How many uninkables do you have?
12?
4, 8.
Hold on.
I believe 12.
We can just.
Would you cut down on the Be Prepared, possibly?
Never.
For another Prince Eric?
So a lot of games get to the point where even like the Green Steel matchup, which is our worst matchup, it gets to the point where you're tapping your chromacons trying to dig for a B prep just to clear the board, and then if you can get there, it'll win you the game. Like you can't like it offsets sometimes the advantage that chromacon is giving your opponent because they're trying to put all their stuff on the board.
And then here, the this 12 unequals. The changes I would make would be Peter Pan to Scars. Scar would have been really good because of Pete. People were setting up big wide boards with a bunch of small dudes and like Green Steel and Steel Song and stuff. And I really wish I had Scars for when they Pete, so I could just they're playing around, be prepared, but they can't Ursula and Pete to stop a Scar, so Scar would just come in and eat their board.
Yeah, and this was the big adaptation. I was trying to play around with this concept for Vegas, and the big change was not running Be Prepared.
Yeah,
because like I was frustrated with sometimes being stuck in the hands, but it turned out to be like really the key decision to make the deck click the way it is.
Okay, do you guys want to give any shout outs?
Shout out to Team Luxury. Couldn't do this without y'all. I mean, this was amazing. We got the Red Purple Council here. This was our brainchild. We created this together. It performed insane.
Tested for weeks, and it showed that we realized our good matchups. We realized the lines, and we were like, this might be the event to spike with. And my man Warp got it done. It's crazy, dude. Got the Golden Mickey, got the invite. My buddy Arathian got his invite. I'm just dead weight, so it's all good.
Okay, thank you guys.